Hi, my name is what? My name is who? My name is what? What is up? This is Jeiku, otherwise known as Jeiku. And I do anime reviews and anime parodies at the same damn time. But I am going to be doing something a little bit different today. I'm going to be doing top 5 anime related videos now. Today's top 5 anime will be top 5 anime for newcomers. I'm still new, you might be new, so this should be perfect. But these type of animes that I'm going to be talking about today are going to be very down to earth. They should be really easy to get into, and every single anime I am mentioning today will have been dubbed and dubbed well. So if you don't want to read subtitles, don't have to. It should be really easy to be immersed in these animes. But without further ado, let's get started. So number 5, Cowboy Bebop. The majority of this anime takes place in space. Space. The final frontier. Basically, you follow a group of bounty hunters, and the main one is Spike Spiegel. So picture the Wild West, but in space. The show has a lot of likable characters, and even though this anime was created back in 1998, the animation is still pretty clean, and once you get used to the art style, you won't even notice because you'll be so into the story that you're not even going to realize that it was made that long ago. Fun fact about Spike Spiegel, the main character, is that his fighting technique is based off Bruce Lee's Jeiku. Spike Spiegel is also a devoted follower of Bruce Lee's philosophies. He even quotes Bruce Lee in some of his dialogue in the animation. Here's an example.
I said, empty your mind. Be formless, shapeless, like water.
It's not about strength or power. You gotta be fluid.
Huh?
You have to be like water. You're tense, I'm calm. You apply excessive force, I control that force through fluid motion. It means becoming like clear water. Water can take any form. It drifts without effort one moment, then pounds down in a torrent the very next.
Now you put water into a cup. It becomes the cup. You put water into a bottle, it becomes the bottle. You put it in a teapot, it becomes the teapot. Now water can flow, or it can crash. Be water, my friend.
Alright, let's move on to number 4, Psychopaths. So in Psychopaths, in the 22nd century, the Japanese populace is being enforced by something called the civil system. And the civil system is used to determine the threat level of each civilian by examining their mental status. Your mental status being your psychopaths, and they scan your psychopaths in case of criminal intent. And as you may have guessed, this Orwellian type of life comes with limited choices that you can make on your own life, and the system in place is not without flaws. An interesting thing about psychopaths is that even the inspectors and enforcers, which are the people who work for the civil system itself, are not exempt from being snatched up from the civil system itself. A lot of times inspectors, they witness so much violence that they themselves, or psychopaths, become skewed, and now they are being used as the enforcers. The enforcers are pretty much the triggermen, if you will, to do the dirty work for the inspectors to protect their psychopaths. But I'll let you know, the thing that's interesting is that the triggermen, who are the enforcers, they themselves do not have a choice on pulling the trigger ultimately. That is also by design for the civil system to make that choice. This show, if I had to compare it to something, is very much like the movie Minority Report. If you've ever seen that sci-fi movie, very good. And that film has a lot of underlying messages similar to what you see in Psychopaths. And just remember that Psychopaths is graphic. It's definitely not for kids, which means it's f***ing awesome. Number 3, Steins Gate. Steins Gate is one hell of an emotional roller coaster of an anime. Steins Gate is about a self-proclaimed mad scientist named Okabe and his best friend named Daru, who is a hacker, and they accidentally make a time machine out of a microwave. Yeah, microwave. Steins Gate focuses a lot on the characters and how their actions affect each other. if you watch this anime, it's really difficult not to become emotionally attached to these characters and what happens to them. A fun fact about this anime is that it deals with a lot of real-life conspiracy theories, and it plays with them within the storyline. Like, for example, it talks about John Teeter, who is a real-life self-proclaimed time traveler who made some predictions that actually became true. It even talks about the European Organization of Nuclear Research, known as CERN, and how they've created the Hadron Collider, which is a super particle collider, and how they say that they use it for scientific purposes, but really they're using it for ulterior motives. So this show is just a lot of fun. It talks about real life things, and so it brings the show to life. It's just a whole lot of fun. I loved this show so much that I had to go out and get it on Blu-ray myself because I was so passionate about it. I wanted to support them. I've yet to meet anybody who hasn't liked Steins Gate, so if you haven't watched it, go out there and watch it right now. I promise you won't regret it. Moving on to the next one, number 2, Bacano. Bacano is another personal favorite, and it takes place in the early 1930s in Chicago, Illinois, which creates a really interesting atmosphere. The interesting thing about Bacano is that there is no real actual main character, which is established right in the first episode. It instead follows a series of characters who eventually meet up with each other at one point or another. So I believe Bacano has actually revolutionized storytelling in some aspects. Some of the most iconic scenes take place in this transcontinental train where all this violence occurs, and it's just a whole lot of fun. I really don't want to spoil much of the story because that's kind of the fun part about this anime, is you're trying to piece the story together by following all these different characters. All I'm going to say is the mafia gets wrapped up in some paranormal activity, and a lot of shit goes down, and one of my favorite psychopaths of all time named Lad is in this anime, and he's a complete badass, alright? He just goes around, he doesn't care, he's taking people down left and right. So if you're going to watch this anime for any reason, go watch it for him. You'll get wrapped up in the story real quick, I promise. Moving on to number 1. Oops, I meant 1. Number 1. Death Note. Speaking of psychopaths, Light Yagami is just one of those guys you absolutely do not want to cross. He is the main character in Death Note. Death Note is one of the most well-known titles in anime, and there is a very good reason for that. That's because it's really freaking good. Death Note follows a high school student who is a prodigy genius who comes across a book called The Death Note. Now, with this Death Note, you can simply write someone's name and the cause of death, and it will happen. If you write nothing and just write the name, then they will eventually die of a heart attack. So it goes a little bit like this. Hey, Jeiku, can I have your autograph? Yeah, sure, why not? What you got me signing here, Oh, stop recording. Main character of the story feels a very strong sense of justice, and he decides that he's going to use this notebook to vanquish the criminals to create a new and ideal world. This anime is just so incredibly enrapturing, and the characters in the show are so likable. As you watch this anime, you'll see that each episode is like a chess move, and every episode has you guessing what's going to happen next. Death Note takes the number 1 spot because at its core is probably one of the most relatable animes out there. The only thing that is paranormal about the show is the Shinigami Death God and the Death Note itself. Everything else is really relatable and just feels so real. Well, this does conclude the top 5 anime video for this show today, and I do want to say thank you so much for dropping by, and if you could do me a huge favor, if you could just Hadouken the hell out of that subscribe button, I'd be truly grateful. And also while you're here, go ahead and drop a crap ton of likes. Yeah, look at all them likes. No, but really, I'm so thankful for your support. You guys have been so supportive to me on this channel and on Twitter. Thank you guys so much. I'm absolutely floored by how helpful you guys have been. I am truly thankful for that. Thank you. Obviously have a lot of choices out there, so thank you for coming to me. Let me know, do you have any suggestions yourself for animes for new people who are brand new to the anime medium? Go ahead and drop your suggestion down into the comment box below. Did you disagree with me on any of my anime suggestions? If so, awesome. You can argue with me on the YouTube comment box, or you can send me a tweet, Facebook. I'm really accessible nowadays, so go ahead and contact me. Again, it was awesome. The name's Jeiku, and I'm signing out. See you next time.